All right, welcome back everyone to Campfire Spookhouse. I'm Scary Terry, this guy, and we are recording episode 18 tonight, which is Bill Paxton's Frailty, from 2001, a psychological horror film, directorial debut of Bill Paxton, who may he rest in peace. So it was written by Brent Hanley, produced by David Kirshner, and it stars Bill Paxton as Dad Meeks, Matthew McConaughey as Adam Meeks / Fenton Meeks, Powers Booth as FBI agent Wesley Doyle, Matt O'Leary as young Fenton, and Jeremy Sumpter as young Adam. The description of the movie is it is a mysterious man arrives at the office of an FBI agent and recounts his childhood, how his religious fanatic father received visions telling him to destroy people who were in fact demons. It was shot on an $11 million budget, and its box office return was $17.4 million. It's kind of crazy too, because actually when you watch the movie, it doesn't seem like it would be shot, like it would cost that much to make it.
No. Okay.
So maybe just the performances, like the actors they had to pay so much
No,
too.
like all movies, granted, there's not lots of grand shots or anything like that, but remember, it's Hollywood. $11 million is a budget film in Hollywood.
Right.
Yeah.
And plus post-production too, you got to consider all that as well.
So, to make a movie for $11 million, especially in 2001, that was a cheap movie. Remember, what was it? What movie was that? The stupid movie with all the shaky camera movements where they were lost in the woods.
Blair Witch Project?
Yeah. So that was also a cheap movie at the time. I bet you if you look that up, it's not like $10.
Right.
Or it was like movies are expensive.
Yeah.
When you just think about all the time you have to shoot, especially if they're shooting on film. Besides the film, just something as simple as catering.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
How are you going to feed people the locations? Yeah. It's expensive.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
So this movie, I saw it as a kid when I was really young. I think about 10 years old. But this was your first time watching the movie, but you thought that you saw this film before.
It had the film that I saw, I still don't recall the name of it, but it has a similar look. Was also probably a lower budget movie, was also family related. So because of that, I knew there was like a boy or children and a dad, and it seemed like something I saw before, but no, it's different. Whereas the other one was similar in that it was like spiritual.
Yeah.
They're both spiritual, but the other one was more like the kid seeing visions, as opposed to. And I know this is also the kid seeing visions, but the way it came across was different.
Right.
It wasn't like a mystery to see who was the kid was having visions.
Right. So this film I've always found it to be really unique. It always stuck with me after I watched it. A very compelling story, as you and I had mentioned when we were watching the film. The themes that I take from this movie, though, when I watch it, is that it has a lot to do with family and loyalty that they have for one another, as well as it has a lot to do with faith, I believe, and believing.
Yeah.
And would you say you felt maybe the same kind of themes or social messages that you identified with the film when you were watching? Or was there something else maybe you took from it that I haven't mentioned?
No, absolutely loyalty, faith, family. Those are the themes.
And maybe the battle, like the battle of good and evil as well.
Yeah, I think also consequences. Like, of course, the one FBI agent, he's there from the beginning, and he ends up having to face the consequences. Right?
Yeah, you find out later on that he himself is a demon and that he killed his mother.
Yeah.
And he let it be known earlier on too, his mother had died, that she was murdered, and that the killer had not been found, which clearly he was the killer.
Yeah.
So let's sort of break down the film a little bit. Let's talk about shots or camera angles. Any unique that stuck out to you?
This is another one of those movies that the cinematography was pretty great. I consider great cinematography one of two things, like where the shot is so memorable, or you don't even notice it because of how like well thought out the shot was.
Very well thought out.
This is the latter.
Yeah.
Every shot. There's nothing that stands out, sticks out. And this is how you kind of save your money or make your money, right? You can go the stylistic way, like a Michael Bay. Michael Bay Bad Boys 1.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because
no question.
You know that the reason why that that 360 pan shot is because they had a small budget, and so he needed a way to create a feeling without shooting at a bunch of explosions, the things that he did later on. Yeah, well, that became like one of his signature shots.
True. I think because if you remember when Bill Paxton had the vision, and he went into his children's room and he was explaining to them like the vision and what their mission was going to be, and the older brother Fenton, the actor Matt O'Leary, he you could see when the camera would sort of like pan away from the father and the other son, Adam, and it showed how far away mentally Fenton was from them, how he was sort of in isolation. He couldn't believe what he was hearing. I thought that was a really great decision. And when we watched this movie, I actually found it reminded me of a book telling a story and flipping through pages to the next. The way they would use clever cinematography to transition from one scene into the next. Even you notice too, if you're looking at it from a post-production perspective, the transitions, the way that it moves from one scene to another, like the sort of fade in, and it was really well done, very clever. And even when the father brought home the first body, and they were laying in their beds that night. It was late at night. They were sleeping. Their dad had not come home that night because he was supposed to bring them to the movies. And then it showed the lights of his truck in the room. I thought that was also just really well done. Like, what a great way to introduce his coming home. Everything it seemed like it was really thought out. And again, maybe because you said $11 million would be considered a low budget, and like they had to be clever and creative with their choices.
All movies should be that way. Yeah. But you have no choice when you have a lower budget. Yeah. And remember, as we've seen a lot of these movies, you kind of saw where they lacked when it came to the budget, whereas this one, and remember, just adjusted for inflation, some movies that we saw from the 70s that also had roughly like 11 million around the same budget. You know that adjusted for inflation is almost double by the time 2001 rolls around. True. So $11 million is not even comparable. It means that they really, really were paying attention to
absolutely. And you can tell from watching this, because obviously Bill Paxton was at the time known as this actor who appears in a lot of movies, but he was really trying to come into his own with his directorial debut, his first effort at making a movie. So he had to stand out. He had to do something really unique and clever. And I think he
absolutely did that.
Absolutely, yeah, exactly. I think he really did. What about sound? Be it Foley, sound effects, or just the music?
So once again, all kind of great choices. There's not anything that really particularly stood out in a way where it's like, oh, this is memorable sort of thing. It's not Star Wars or Jaws or anything like that. But it's absolutely appropriate. Whether, once again, it would cost money to get someone who is really good to do those things. But what they chose, it gave the right emotion for the right times. Yes. The sounds were both like, they were just appropriate.
Yes, that's actually a good way to describe it, as appropriate.
Yeah, it wasn't anything subtle. Once again, so much of what makes this movie good or great is that everything fits. I'm not really nitpicking. There's not things to nitpick.
Right. I found the music to be subtle. Like it's not something that really stood out to you. Same with the audio. And I think that in reference to like some of the earlier movies that we watched and how we talked about, it seemed for them they focused less on camera and cinematography and more on audio. This particular film was vice versa. I feel like Bill focused more on the camera and cinematography, as opposed to the audio and the music. I really think camera, cinematography, fantastic. The direction that Bill Paxton gave to the actors, the performances were very compelling.
Yep.
Everybody, it seemed like the cast wasn't big. It was a small cast, but everybody knew what their part was in this, and they took it as serious and they were as passionate about it as Bill Paxton was, I feel like.
Child actors who are usually a sore point, although I've been pretty impressed with child actors in scary movies.
Yeah, horror seems to be actually like a very careful genre when it comes to acting. Like they pay a lot of attention to that when it comes to children actors.
They've been pretty consistent so far. We're what, 18 in, so
yeah.
But so far.
Yeah, in regards to performances, I have always loved Matt O'Leary as Fenton, the older brother, and Jeremy Sumpter as Adam, the younger brother. I was a big fan of Matt O'Leary from watching this movie when I was a kid, and I continued to watch him in Spy Kids 2 and 3 that he was in, and Domestic Disturbance with John Travolta that he was in as well. Jeremy Sumpter, I saw him. There was a 2003 live action Peter Pan movie that he played Peter Pan in.
Okay.
So I thought he was fantastic in that too. But this movie, I do have to touch on Matthew McConaughey. Because Matthew McConaughey, I thought, was absolutely great in this movie. And around that time, he's had such a weird career, it seems to me, because a lot of his earlier films, with the exception of like Dazed and Confused, it just seemed like when you look at his body of work from his earlier days, so like 1990s to like maybe mid 2000s or a little later, even before coming into like romance films, it's like it really depended on the script for him, whether he was going to really try to be a great actor in the movie. Other times, I feel like it might have just been about a paycheck, just getting money to pay the bills. But like, I thought he was terrific in this film.
It's one of those one of his performances that absolutely make you remember that he is actually good at this.
And I have to touch on that again because like Matthew McConaughey, the last 15 years maybe, like he's a fantastic actor, and like he's really coming to his own with a lot of the movies that he's put out, especially with, like True Detective and Interstellar and with Dallas Buyers Club and films like that. But
even he played essentially a deadbeat dad in White Boy Rick. I don't know if you saw.
Oh yeah, I do. That was a good movie too. I like that movie.
He's very good in that as well.
So like, that's what I mean. Like this, like everybody was on board with it. Everyone was just as passionate about it as Bill Paxton, and obviously Bill Paxton's the man. You can just tell, even with his acting, that this meant so much to him. This project, this film.
Yeah. What's interesting about Bill Paxton is his ability his range, right?
Yeah.
Because he could be this really compelling person, like in this movie. This religious fanatic dad. He could be a leading man.
Yeah.
He could also be. Like a comedic, like just comedic side piece character that you just dump on, like in True Lies.
Yeah,
you know?
True. Yeah, I remember him in that as well.
He's really impressive. Like his range,
and you can tell like he has a very good prior to the murders and everything. Like, he has a very good relationship with his kids, and he loves them to death. And the conflict obviously would be Fenton as the older brother, not believing their father and not seeing the visions. And then you find out later on that he himself was actually a demon, which would explain why he grew up to become a serial killer, but at actual murders, not killing demons, like the family legacy kind of. And even then, like you look at how skeptical he was from the very beginning. Yeah. You wouldn't suspect that he would become a murderer himself right away.
Yeah. This is what's great about this particular movie. It's hard for me or people like us who've seen a gazillion movies to not see something coming around the corner. And him, so like the older brother turning out to be
Adam.
Being like the murderer.
Yeah.
Or like a murderer, serial killer or something like that. It's not something that it's absolutely not first or second on the things that I was thinking about while watching this movie. I also didn't quite believe that the younger brother was going around killing people either, because it doesn't fit his character.
Yeah.
Like, he's killing people that he believes are demons, right? Mm-hmm. And because of how convinced his dad was, and because how convinced the child character, you could see his face. Like, he did believe. He wasn't just saying it to get along with dad.
Yeah, like the younger brother, right? Like Adam.
And because I saw that, it was very difficult for me to believe that he's just going around killing people.
Yeah.
It would have had to have been destroying people.
That's why, like, the first time I watched it when I was a kid, the ending alone, when you find out that this man who went into the police station and identified himself as Fenton is actually Adam the entire time, and it was all part of a ruse to get FBI agent Wesley Doyle outside of the station and lead him to the Roseville Garden. Yeah. It's like, I didn't see that coming.
No, that was one of the best kind of plot twists that I've come across in quite a bit. So looking forward to more of the stuff that we watch, because if there's more stuff like this, I'm on board.
Oh yeah. And I didn't add it to the cast, like the name, so I'm not even sure the actor's name, what he was. But even the sheriff, I thought that they brought on board when Fenton went and ran to him to have him come over to check the bodies. I felt he was really compelling and convincing too. Also
explains so much when that the sheriff comes and then he cuts him. No, that's the first person I have to kill.
Yeah,
sort of thing.
Yeah,
and because it makes you think to yourself, oh, okay, and you see the difference. Like you see, like, he's broken down.
Yeah,
because he had to kill someone.
Yeah,
that sort of thing. Because there's a difference, right?
Especially because, like, the father, he's killing already. Like, he's already killed these people, but they were demons. Yeah. So he didn't really think too much about it. There was no shame or feeling of guilt. But then he vomits when he actually kills the sheriff, like a human.
Yeah, because he's doing the Lord's work. But this was to protect, so that he could continue to do the Lord's work.
Absolutely.
And later on, you realize it's because he didn't have it in him to kill his son.
Exactly. And then I also I really liked when the father would always mention that God will blind everybody, so no one will see what we're doing. Nobody will know what we're doing. And then, like, you find out in the end too, when they're trying to watch the videotapes, and you can't see Adam, like, his face is completely blocked off and distorted.
You can't remember him either.
Yeah.
I looked right at him. But
yeah.
I don't
like, I'm drawing at a blank. Yeah. I thought it was great. And then I think my favorite part in the movie is right at the very end, outside the police station, when you find out Adam's a sheriff, and then he shakes the hand of the agent, like Wesley Doyle's partner or sidekick, and he's like, "You're a good man." And I really liked that. I thought, oh, that's clever.
Because now he's telling the truth.
Exactly.
He knows whether or not he's a good man.
Yeah, man.
Even that secretary.
Yeah.
Like every role was just out of the park. She played it like this kind of sweet, simple secretary who was like kind of leading on, like, she might know more than she's giving off, sort of thing.
Yeah.
All those things in the performance.
Even, like, because it seemed like she was pregnant, and it seemed like Adam is the father, and, like, they're together. But, like, when she said "praise God" at the end, being the last line in the film, the last sort of piece of dialogue, you could, like, she's clearly a big believer in this too. And I'd be willing to bet that she's in on it and she knows, like, what's going on, and she plays the part really well, because if you believe in something so profoundly, it doesn't come off like you're acting, right? Like, it's very genuine when you whatever you say. So I just think the film all around, like, there's no flaws. It's just everything has been brilliantly thought out. It's been planned. Even and a lot of misleads in the film. I mean, because, like, at the beginning, the older brother Fenton, as an adult, like, when he called up Adam on the phone and said the demons are everywhere, and then, like, it shows him put a gun to his head and he shoots himself in the head, but that didn't actually happen. The whole film, you're thinking it did, but then you find out that Adam actually came up from behind and killed him. It's just great. Like, he's it's like Adam is fantastic at hiding everything. until he's ready to actually reveal it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's even, and then like another great thing too was when like yourself watching this for the first time, every time the father would touch them and his head would come up and he'd like be having the visions, he'd be seeing them. Did you ever think or hope at some point that it was going to show what he was seeing? Because you didn't see that till the end.
Yeah, like I imagine that at some point you would see that because when the angel came to him in the beginning, like you see some of the vision. Mm-hmm. You see him underneath the car.
Another great scene.
And you see the angel coming down to him. Yeah. And then he comes out. So I imagine that at some point we get to see it.
Yeah. The only thing, did you notice the one thing? Okay, like I said, the film had no flaws, but this just came to mind. And it actually, okay, so when they're showing the visions,
yeah.
It first shows the blonde lady, which was the first body, the first victim they killed. Mm-hmm. And she clearly had slit like her husband's throat or boyfriend's throat in bed while she was smoking a cigarette. Mm-hmm. Then it transitioned now to the old man in the car about how he like killed the little girl and she was licking an ice cream cone. It never showed the last body at the end, the guy who fought back, the bald-headed dude. Yeah. I really wanted to see what it was he did, and they never showed it.
Perhaps. Well, no, because you're correct. Because
Adam ended up killing him too.
Adam ended up killing him, and then he also mentioned that he's never killed anyone; he only destroyed them. So that guy would have had. But the way that the guy is presented, the guy tried to kill the dad. So obviously that dude had something going on there.
And Adam said, even as a child, he always saw the visions what his father seen. So it's like he wouldn't just.
So perhaps,
kill him if he was innocent.
So perhaps the reason why there wasn't a flashback there is because this guy was the most overtly bad person. He was almost caricaturally bad person of all the bad people.
Yeah, maybe there was just so many sins that he committed. So many.
That it was outward. Like he not only did he try to kill the dad, he also was like, yeah, I got one. Why don't you come back here? Like everything about him was bad.
And when he yelled at his wife or girlfriend, whatever, you fucking bitch. Like
everything about him was bad. True. Whereas the other people,
we had no idea.
No, they were like hiding.
And so it's visibly seen to us. Mm-hmm. We can gather that this last guy was.
Perhaps that's why that decision was made not to include his sins, because his sins were already implied and pretty visible.
So then that says to me again, the film is flawless, and that's just fucking brilliant that Bill Paxton made that decision to not show it.
It's pretty great.
Yeah, I've absolutely loved FRAILTY.
And it's now one of my favorite such type films.
Nice. Okay, well then on that note, seeing how we've discussed the film and things that we really liked about it, and we didn't say anything bad about the film at all. Out of 5 jump scares, what would you rate the film?
I have nothing bad to say about this film.
Yeah.
There's absolutely nothing bad about this film. It gets 5 jump scares for me.
Hell yeah, bro. Okay, so 5, I have to give it 5 jump scares too, because I just think it's a flawless film. It's amazing. Fantastic. It's brilliantly done. Everything was thought out.
Yeah.
And it's one of those movies that you do watch that sticks with you afterwards.
I'm comfortable putting this movie up with all of those, gargantuan movies, especially some of the ones that we saw early on.
Yeah.
Alongside the Psychos and the Shinings.
Yeah.
And all of these sorts of things, that this movie
is up there.
Can definitely fit in that crowd.
Well, I got another fun fact for you. Did you know that after the movie was released, Roger Ebert himself awarded it 4 out of 4 stars and said that it was a phenomenal movie?
What I like about that guy especially is that if he's wrong, he'll go back and correct it.
True.
Later on.
Maybe sometimes though you need a second viewing or a third viewing to really be able to critique it.
Because I've noted that they've done that quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Quite a bit as much as reviewers do those sorts of things.
Yeah.
But for them, they have gone back and kind of changed their mind. They did it with Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
They did it with Jim Carrey. It's a lot of the comedic actors on first watch, they weren't into it.
Right.
What kind of ridiculous thing is it? And then they changed their mind later on. Yeah, this is a perfect movie in my estimation.
I agree. It's 5 jump scares from both you and me. 5 out of 5, that is. Let us know what you think about Bill Paxton's Frailty and what rating that you would give it out of 5 jump scares. And also be sure to like and subscribe to our channel and leave a comment below. Recommend to us any of your favorite horror movies that you would like to see us review, and we will record a review to it and we will give you a shout out as well. And don't forget to be here next week when we record review for episode 19, which will be Osgood Perkins's Long Legs with Nicolas Cage, a movie that came out just last year and sparked a lot of buzz. So that's going to be the next one that we do. And in the meantime, I'm Scary Terry. This guy is
Rock Horror.
And we are Campfire Spookhouse, where we scare ourselves awake. So we'll see you guys next week.